Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Sebastian Rogers has been missing for 78 days today. By the time this posts to YouTube, it will be 79 days. We have so much to go into because I was on a bit of a hiatus. My daughter graduated. I posted to my community page, but my daughter graduated from college over the weekend, and then we had Mother's Day. I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day. My daughter, I'm super proud of her. She earned her bachelor's in criminology, advanced scientific analysis, community health, and wrongful convictions. And I think that might have had something to do with her growing up with a true crime junkie. First things first, we're going to get into our part 2 of the Websleuths interview that happened on April 27th, 2024 with Chloe PI, Heather, the PI, Tricia, and Stacy are the hostesses of the show. And then we had Chris Proudfoot come in, so we're going to jump right back into that. Afterwards, I'm going to go right into something else from there, which is Clueminati. And she had a live, and that was May 3rd, 2024. So right after the WebSleuths live. And then I have just one more little tidbit for you, and we're going to discuss all of it. One thing I do want to say about the live phone call with Clueminati is that I do believe that the cliche birds of a feather flock together fits here. And she and her fiance were on the live call, and it was just a very bizarre beginning. I took out everything except for where Chris comes in. And let's just say it's a very unique podcast. I've never watched any of her podcasts before. I've seen her out in the community on in the YouTube verse, but I've never conversated with her or anything like that. I think I said hello to her a couple of times in different live events or chats that I was in. But other than that, I never knew that she existed until I heard that Chris had a strange phone call that had come in, and I wanted to include it here because Chris says that he doesn't like to play games, and in this phone call, I think that you're going to find out that he lies through his teeth. I mean, if his lips are moving, like I said, he's lying. No matter what Chris tells you, he's not a good person. But this whole thing was set up to make Chris look good. And I found out that he's got some people that are really working hard to make him look good. Prior to him calling in, they had one other person that called into the live chat, and then Duchess was also on that live chat right before he called in. Let's get right into WebSleuths. Let's watch.
And the other part of this is if it's nothing in regards to Sebastian, I really don't give a shit, people.
No, and I agree, Chris. And I mean, I don't know if you heard, I didn't want to discuss.
Oh, I asked a lot of questions and she wouldn't discuss it. Absolutely.
I think it's semantics at this point. He's been missing for 2 months, and I don't know how his bathroom habits are going to help me find him.
Exactly. Mind you that children with autism do have bladder and bowel movement issues to control themselves, but absolutely. I'm not really worried that people can't read and do their own.
Well, but Chris, let me tell you.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and care about that either.
Let me tell you why that was brought up. Okay, it's because of what Seth said. Seth said at his house he didn't.
Yes, you were correct. No, you were correct. You just hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. You just hit the nail on the head. Seth has opened his mouth. He has said a lot of things he probably shouldn't, and he needs to learn how to close it because, quite honestly, none of that has anything to do with finding Sebastian.
Right, and you know what? But Chris, let's keep it that way because Seth has said he is not going to do that anymore, and he hasn't.
Bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That Sunday when I went to that vigil and spoke to Seth very calmly, very respectfully, We were having a good conversation. While everybody stood behind me and would snap the little pictures and stuff, Heather came up in the conversation. She saw us. It was not a aggressive conversation. It was actually a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it wasn't 3 hours later. Seth was on YouTube on somebody else's show, sitting there. He's blaming Katie, my wife, for Sebastian's disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unless you got cold hard facts, which you don't open your mouth. Because all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself because you're assuming.
Say that everybody is grieving and handling the situation differently. I won't comment on if I agree with any of the ways that people are acting at this point. I do think, in the last week we've been trying to build a bridge. And I know it's difficult and it's not going to be just clean and perfect. But I think if we can all just refocus and try to not focus on the other things people have done that make you angry.
You tear down any posters of Sebastian, you or anyone you know.
That is a straight up no. And I can't believe people would think I would tear down flyers or posters of my missing stepson.
Okay,
Which,
but again,
another thing,
And
which
I
is
will-
kind of funny that you bring this up, because some people, and yes, they are pertinent to the investigation, have said that there's a video floating around of me tearing these things down.
mm-hmm.
If you got it, post it. Because
I
if
agree.
you ain't got it, shut up.
And I mean, I'll say on record from myself, I have never seen that.
And
Exactly.
I also want to
Because
say,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and I want to say on record that in my conversation earlier with Chris and Katie, Katie said she had one request of me, and that was that when I do these interviews, that I, at some point in the interview, remind people to hand out the flyers and put them up everywhere.
Please, all we're begging. I don't know how to beg you even more. I don't know what it's going to take for America, the world, whoever, to understand. We are begging you to hang posters, talk to whomever, spread the words, keep your eyes open, and when you find something, don't wait 2 weeks to make a report. Because let me tell you something, that's what's been going on. Some of the leads that are coming in are 2 and 3 weeks old.
Why do you
Instead
think
of
that
when you
is?
see something, you pick up the phone immediately
Right.
and you call the cops.
Yeah.
Don't call your best friend and
Right.
say, "Hey, I think I've seen this kid." Don't call these investigators. No offense, Chloe and Heather. You don't call them first. You don't call Seth. You don't call anybody but law enforcement only, and make your report
And
immediately.
I will say, we've received tips that maybe haven't been called into law enforcement, but we call them in. And we also received tips that have been called into law enforcement, but the person that called the tip in didn't get any feedback when they were told they were going to be called back. And so they were worried that maybe it didn't get looked into enough. So I don't
So
want you to think
for the record,
passing
right?
tips
So
to law
for the record, I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't know, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I, and some of the information that Seth has. You don't, and I understand that, and I'm sorry that we can't give you every single thing under the sun. I wished we truly could, but unfortunately we can't.
Right.
But when you do make a report, and you give them a name and a number, you tell them the location, you tell them a very detailed description and everything. You don't expect to get a call back from law enforcement, period. Don't.
Mhm.
Because I'm sorry, but they don't have the time to stop and answer every single call back when they're looking for missing children. Not just ours, but there's so many children out there that are missing.
Right.
So I'm sorry that some of y'all feel that you deserve an answer, but it's not. And I'm sorry, it's just going to sound rude when I say this, but you don't deserve an answer. You'll get the answer when we get the answer. The family gets the answer on a missing boy, not strangers. They're not calling y'all to tell you.
Chris, this is what I have to tell when I talk to law enforcement, and it's difficult to accept, and I still have trouble with it too. This is the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But again, when you ask the public for help, people are going to start looking, and they look at the last place that Sebastian was known to be. And then it just goes from there. And I'm sorry, it shouldn't, but that's how it does. And we can clear a lot up tonight. And I'm
Yes,
so
let's
glad.
do this.
Okay, BW says, Chris, are you frustrated with law enforcement, or do you feel like you're getting adequate information from them?
I'm not upset with law enforcement. I'm going to tell you right now, the agencies that are involved have thrown every asset that they have at this. What people don't understand, this has actually probably been one of the largest searches for a missing child in Sumner County history, period, and probably in the state with the number of assets. Do I think they're doing everything they can? You bet your sweet tail I am. You can bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I mean, just short of making everybody in this United States go hand in hand, start on one side of the country and sweep through hand in hand, that's probably about, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I'm very happy with what they've done. I know there are some other folks that don't feel that way, and I'm sorry because they are not in the know.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to remember one thing. They're not going to expend every single asset, every single minute of the day on one child.
Of course.
You have to keep in mind how many children are missing, and it has to be equally dissolved among everybody. And I'm not going to lie to you. It hurt. It hurt the day that they came in on day 8 and told us that they have to pull back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it ain't nothing. There was more of a gut punch to take than being told that. I mean, it
I can imagine. I mean, because you're not expecting them to say that. You're not expecting them to say, yeah, we're going to pull back and put less.
I do expect that, but here's the thing. I'm also a realistic person.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for them to expend every aspect and every asset of every single second of the day finding Sebastian. That's not realistic.
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
understand. I want to read you a comment, and I like this comment from Brittany Cole. It says, sometimes you have to block out the noise, Chris. The public will do what they do, and that's the truth. A lot of us are just trying to offer help. It's the bad ones that you remember, and not all the much bigger crowd of good people who are not doing this.
And I mean, weeks ago, somebody asked me what I thought, and I had some information from court documents that could have been a lot of quote unquote tea for the internet to have. And I refused to release it because
court documents on, let me ask you this, on who? Me, Seth, Katie? Okay.
I refused to release it because, number one, I didn't think it would help find Sebastian. Number two, it was a deeply personal thing. And also,
when she was young?
Yes.
Okay, so let me
finish, and I referred to the Michael Vaughn case, where his parents got completely slaughtered.
Yes, they did.
By the public for a very long time. And they didn't do anything to that boy. I do not believe.
They didn't.
Now they have proof. But they just got slaughtered. And if people can say without a shadow of a doubt that they just know what somebody did, and they don't. Well, if you know, take it to the police and let's solve this.
Yeah. Tell all the Sherlock Holmes and Watsons out there, since they have their PhDs in criminal justice and forensics and all this, since they've got it, by all means, we welcome you to the case. We welcome you to come in here and show us and show these law enforcement officers that have so many years of experience that they don't know anything. We'd love for you to do it.
Chris, this isn't helping.
I know it's not helping, but this goes back to what's being asked.
Let's get people on your side and then we can all work together. Because I
But
know
that's just the thing. This isn't about sides. This is not about sides.
Exactly, and that's
This is
that's
not.
what we're
This is
trying
about
to do.
Sebastian.
You know,
it
it's
is. But
are you
if we're
team
not,
this, that? I'm team Sebastian.
Same.
You know, I was brought in to do one thing.
Same.
okay, guys, let me just say, coming from the other side, you want the public's help. You need the public's help. Let's not insult the public. There are asses out there. And believe me, we fight against them all the time, don't we, Stacy? Constantly. These jerks out there that pull all this crap just to get clicks. You know, we don't have advertising on this channel. We don't ask for money. We do it because we want to help. But it doesn't help.
So can I ask you a question on your show?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you the same question I ask everybody else when we went on their shows. So I'm on your show and I'm sure it is blown up. So the more people that come on, the more money this show makes.
No, I make no money.
We
off
don't make money. We're not
make
monetized.
zero money.
It's not monetized.
And we
You're
don't
not a
take
monetary
donations.
show.
No, they don't monetize.
No.
We do not
Right.
monetize. We do not monetize. It costs me money to do this.
Yeah, and Chris,
WebSleuths
So
is
the reason why I asked
show I
that,
will go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely free,
Well,
and the website is as well.
No
right.
advertising.
So the
on
reason
our website,
why I'm asking that question, okay,
Mhm.
is because if people are true to what they say in their heart, especially those, and they know who I'm talking about, the clickers,
Yeah.
the shows that make this money.
Yep.
I would love for you to make a public announcement for every dollar you've made. If you truly do this for the goodness of your heart, every dollar that you have made, you should donate it to the cause, not to your personal gain.
Right.
Well, yeah, we don't. Like I said, we make zero
we don't
money. It
make
costs
money.
us money to
And
do
I
that.
appreciate it and I respect
Yeah.
that. Thank y'all ladies for that. I will give you that.
So, but no, I understand what you're saying. But again, it's just like with, Nancy Grace or with news media, they report the news. Unfortunately, this is social media. And I agree, there's people out there, and I'm not going to even say their names, but they know who they are. They do this crap to get clickbait so they can make more money, and it's disgusting. Absolutely.
Oh, very much
disgusting.
so. Very much so.
And I want to add something to that. Like I told Chris earlier, everybody that's involved in this case is under a microscope. I've been ripped to shreds. They've been ripped to shreds. Seth has been ripped to shreds. I mean, like the public gets a hold of somebody in the spotlight and they dig into them and they pull up anything that they can about them. And some of it's true and some of it's not. It doesn't help find Sebastian. And that's where we all need to get on the same page and regroup and just make the decision right here, right now, to ignore the rumors, to clear up misinformation, and just to get on track so that we can start trying to find Sebastian.
Now,
Right. If we can keep parties involved in this investigation focused on that and staying off of YouTube and other aspects of social media and playing the game, okay,
Yes.
I'm sure we would all benefit greatly, and this would completely change narratives and the direction, and it would straight focus completely on Sebastian.
Well, let's do this. This podcast or WebSleuths podcast that we're on right now, we can make a pact right now. That's what we're doing right here, right?
But here's the other thing. I appreciate you willing to make that pact, but you know exactly who I'm referring to. That needs to be done publicly as well then.
well, all we can do is what we can do here tonight. So, but Chris, there's a couple of questions, and then there is somebody. There is somebody that wants to come on the panel, and I don't know if you want them on here, but I'll ask. Well, let me ask you these questions first, okay? Everybody wants to know, what do you think happened to Sebastian? What do you think happened?
I don't know. For the love of God, I wished I had an answer. I wished we had something to go off of, but we
Chris,
don't.
I asked Seth this a few weeks ago, and so just no thought.
I'm gonna hear you out.
In your gut, spit it out. Doesn't matter if it sounds completely off the wall. What is your knee-jerk reaction to what happened?
Sebastian walked out of the house, stepped off the porch, and has vanished into thin air. That is what I think, because that is what I know.
But what do you mean, you know?
I've been part of the investigation since day one.
Okay.
And if anybody else out there that's got some information in regards to where Sebastian has went, because last time I
Right,
checked,
but
there's
are
not
you
one shred of
confirming that you know
evidence.
he walked off the porch is what I'm asking.
I'm telling you, unless this kid is just in the thin air on my front porch, he sure had to go somewhere, so he had to walk off the front porch. Now, if you're trying to insinuate somebody was in my house or
No, I'm
somebody's
not
taking that
insinuating
child outside of
anything.
my house,
No, I'm
say
not
that.
insinuating anything. I'm asking, do you know that he walked out your front door? Do you know?
That he went out the front door?
Or any door?
Is that what you're asking?
Do you know?
Yeah, that's what we're asking.
Okay, thank you. I just need a confirmation. I don't play games here.
The mic is hot.
I heard y'all giving away them T-shirts. What's that boy's name? Sebastian.
Yes. Well, not me. Duchess, yeah.
Well, how you gonna get one of them shirts out? I mean, what do you got to do?
You go to her channel, and on Sunday, she's having a show, and she will give you a code, and then you can contact the maker of the shirt.
Oh, is there any way you can do it a little easier than that? I mean, I ain't a smart feller. I mean, I can know how to call a number, but I don't know how to do any of that old fancy stuff y'all was talking about doing. I don't understand that. I mean,
Well,
I like mustard biscuits myself, but I don't think everybody else likes that either. But hey,
I'm sorry, did you say mustard and biscuits?
yeah, mustard biscuits like mustard and French fries. Yeah. Y'all don't eat that over?
I don't put mustard on my biscuits. No, maybe some honey.
Oh, you got to try it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it's something else. I mean, just mustard goes good on everything. Tater salad, tater tot, taters. I mean, it's good. You missed out.
I assume you've seen the movie Sling Blade.
No, not at all. What's that mean? You said it called Sling Blade?
Mm-hmm.
What's a Sling Blade? I know what a Collier blade is, but I don't know what a Sling Blade is.
Well, I tell you, I can do you one easy. I can text you and maybe get you a T-shirt out that way.
Well, I ain't got one of them one of their fancy phones that everybody be punching away on. I'm calling you on a landline. We actually have rubber and out.
Uh-huh.
Well, I live out in the sticks. I mean, you're talking about Sling Blade, and I call it Kaiser Blade. I think it's a totally different thing, so I'm not sure.
You sound a lot like the guy from the movie. That's kind of crazy. I wish you would have seen the movie.
No, I ain't even got a television. I mean, I don't know much about them things. I think they them devils anyway, so, I just do lucky to get a phone. I got a radio.
You don't have a television?
No.
All right. Old school in the sticks.
Yeah, I have to go across the street over there down the holler, and just they got one of them what do you call it, computers. I got one of them. They got one of them things, and I get to listen to this thing, and this is how I get to hear your show.
Oh, well, thank God for their computer.
Do you ride a bicycle?
Well, they got the internet. They got that magic box where you go in there and you get to see a bunch of things or whatever. I don't know.
Could you say it ain't got no gas in it?
Ain't got no gas in it.
That was great.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I don't know. I don't break in any of that stuff. I don't play with any of that stuff.
He said,
Bitch Franklin said, is this truth, not feelings?
is this truth, not feelings? The chat is asking if that's your name when you chat. Truth, not feelings.
If I got feelings, what are you talking about?
I don't mean you don't have feelings. I'm asking if. Never mind. When you chat, you have a name. I just wondered if this was truth, not feelings. But
Aren't we chatting now? Ain't that what I can tell what chat is when people talk?
well, yeah, it is.
Oh,
What's that there chat that you talking about?
On your keyboard, you said that people pound away. That's the kind of chatting I'm talking about when you're typing something.
I told you I ain't got one of them fancy box there. It's them computers. That's my neighbor. They got that. That's where I'm at right now to hear the show.
You went to your neighbor's house at, well, I don't know what time it is where you are, but here it's like 12 o'clock in the morning.
No, I mean, y'all don't sit there and drink moonshine either.
Well, on a good day, yeah.
I used to drink that shit every day. Make you feel better. Cure everything you got.
It's really good for a sore throat.
No. It ain't good for everything.
Good for everything. Okay, I can get with that. Well, do you like the show? I'm assuming so, since you're at the neighbors, or is this your first time watching?
No, I like the show. I just there's a little boy missing. It's sad story. It's sad them kids go missing.
Agreed.
You know, the worst part is, you know, I heard that story where people talking about the parents and stuff. It's real bad. I don't know.
Agreed.
They got no evidence. What do they call evidence on that boy yet?
No, they don't have any evidence on him yet.
Why everybody saying that the parents done it then?
Oh, because the internet world has to have a villain. Somebody to be mad at, I guess.
Well, they want a villain. They got one to call the government. They need to. That's the villain right there. Mm-hmm.
I will not argue that. At all. Hear that?
I really want one in third though. How would you get one in third?
I promise I will. Well, if you can learn to work a text, I can text your phone and send you a shirt.
I have my neighbor there. They do that.
Yeah, there you go.
One of them old road. I got them phones. You got to do on the circle.
Oh, fucking hell.
I mean, I ain't got no television, one of the color boxes. I ain't got one of them. I got a radio. About it.
You said color boxes?
Yeah, TV, television, color box.
Oh.
The show in it with the colors and stuff. That's color box.
Color box. From now on, I'm always going to call my TV a color box.
Color box. That color box.
Most time I sit there, listen to the radio, watch out the window.
Do you work on lawnmowers?
Every once in a while. I'm broke right now, but but got gas in it, so got gas.
Well, that is required to mow a lawn, gas in a mower.
But it broke though, so it don't.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not. It won't work right now. Even with gas in it.
Well, that's why I got the Kaiser blade. The Kaiser blade cut that shit straight out, right on the through there.
You're in the front yard, I'm assuming, swinging a Kaiser blade?
Yeah, I use Kaiser blade. Some call it a Sling Blade. I call it a Kaiser blade.
Okay. When you're done, I just have to know. When you're done swinging that, do you go eat mustard and biscuits?
If they ain't that, it's mustard and taters. That's always good too.
You put mustard on potatoes?
Taters, yeah.
I'm going to try that.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
One of the audience...
Pick one of them right up there and get you a glass of moonshine. Ain't no better.
Mustard, taters, and moonshine. One of the audience members wants to know if you like pineapples.
Pineapple? What's a pineapple?
A pineapple?
No pineapple.
A pineapple, like the yellow thing with the little tree at the top, little leaves. It's fruit.
I ain't seen one of them. No. Susie down the street, she got an apple tree.
Susie down the street has an apple tree. No pineapples, guys, just apples.
No, not up here in these hollers. We ain't got none of that up here.
How did you say that again? Pineapple? Pineapple?
Man, that we call it pineapple.
Pineapples.
We got apple.
Oh, okay.
We got apple tree down the street there. We get apple.
Nice. Well, if I call your number back, could you answer the phone? You don't have to answer, right?
No. That thing, it ain't ringing. It's pretty loud.
So if I
take me a minute to get up there and get the phone, but I hear.
If I call you, I can figure out how to send you a shirt, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get your address. And that poster that the feller brings up the mail, he can put it in the box down there in the street.
Okay, well, see, yeah, that's progress. I might even...
It takes about a week, though, but I mean, I don't check it but once a week.
I might even send you a pineapple.
Pineapple? You put mustard on it?
I'm sure you might, but I wouldn't.
But you can put it on a biscuit.
But you can put a pineapple on a biscuit.
Put it on a biscuit? That might sound good.
Y'all, he says it's not truth. I don't know. You ever fry an apple?
Well, I mean, yeah, we put them in a fryer pan and how you make an apple pie.
He said apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie. Y'all sound like really pretty people, by the way. I'm sorry, but I just want to let y'all know y'all sound like real pretty people call your show. I hear sound pretty.
Oh, the people that call sound pretty, or me and fiance sound pretty?
Yeah, you and your what's that thing? Where do you say?
Fiance?
Yeah, that's like that. Yeah.
I bet he'd say Cletus.
Can you say Cletus?
Oh, I got to say Cletus. Hell, we got Cletus right down the street. He's right down the street. He's right next door over at Billy Bob. And then Uncle Tom, he's probably another, on the other side of the holler. Where Uncle Tom is. We all know each other.
Are you from Kentucky?
No. Oh, God. Who the hell won't be from Kentucky?
Well, fiance for one, but aside from him, I don't know.
Nah, we like in fallers and the trees and hills and mountains. So pretty.
I don't know. You say that me and fiance sound like pretty people. Are you sure you ain't into pineapples?
I sure ain't a pineapple.
Okay.
Pineapple is a totally different thing, I guess. I don't know.
No
I don't
pineapple.
see people very often.
Just when he watches the color box.
The color box.
Yeah,
That's right.
see,
Pineapple
when he
and
watches
color
the
box. I may never call a pineapple again. I think it's going to be pineapple from now on. So just so y'all know.
Well, I keep my eye up out here looking for that little boy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna be out here.
No.
Oh hell, we don't see nobody out here. I gotta walk all the way down there just to use neighbors here to show on that computer thing, whatever that safety box thing is.
You got to walk all the way to the neighbors. Well, I appreciate that dedication. I don't know if you came just to watch my show, but I'm just saying I do appreciate the dedication.
Well, I get to go over like once a month, and they kind of tell me some things and stuff. And, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he can help you fix the mower.
Might be. I got to see that movie about them them animals the other day.
Say what?
Real famous. That show about them animals, about them lions. You ever seen that show?
About a lion?
Yeah, them kitty movie.
Oh, Lion King?
Yeah, I got to see that the other day. That's a good show right there. A good flick.
You know, I've never seen The Lion King.
Oh man, that's a good show. Good show.
Y'all, I don't know who this is, a voice changer, like on God. I like your voice. I'm not saying anything negative. They think it's somebody with a voice changer. It's not Dago. His son's at the prom.
What is the fourth finger?
Where if I wanted to, I could talk like this or like this.
It's one of them sound boxes.
Yeah, it's a sound box. There you go.
Well, sound box. That's a radio. Mm-hmm. Where I had that good music. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what kind of music do you like? I'm just curious.
Well, like good old stuff, Hank Williams.
Oh, I love Hank Williams.
Not his baby, the daddy. He's
Yeah.
dead now. He dead. He been dead for a while now.
Yeah. What's that line about the moon to see you cry? Oh, I like Hank Jr. too now.
Yeah, but I like it, daddy. Mm-hmm.
I promise y'all, this is not a Dago. Dago couldn't get his voice that low for nothing.
He couldn't get his voice that low with a voice changer.
Hank, why do you drink? See, yeah, I like Junior too. I'm sorry, I have to. Like, it's Uncle Si.
He liked to roll that smoke and stuff, that vacuum stuff. Mm-hmm. That's who that fella is right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His friend was killed by a switchblade knife too. Did you know that?
For $43.
Yeah, but I called it Kaiser blade. Something called switchblade. I called it Kaiser blade.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, a Kaiser blade, not a switchblade.
Nobody up to that.
Say what now?
Oh, no, I just rambling on there and just started my baby.
He said not his baby. It's the big one. It's a family tradition. Correct. Well, you got anything else?
That's good. It's on there, man. Tradition thing.
Yeah.
I heard that in tea.
You got anything else you want to tell us? I didn't hear none of that, did you? He really must live in the sticks. You still there? You kind of went robot.
No, I'm still here.
What?
What the hell?
I'm still here.
Okay. I did not change calls, but what?
I'm still here.
This is not my daughter. Where is she? Go get her. Like I promise y'all on everything. I know we did that one time to Sarge. But I promise y'all, she is in her room. Now, you said you're still here? Are you still the same?
I'm still here.
Are you still the same person?
Don't know it.
I have no idea. It's not baby Clue, on God.
She's coming.
She's coming, see? I'm going to make them talk at the same time.
Oh, I don't know. Fun. I know.
Can you? All right, on 3, I want you both to speak. Stay out the camera, but 1, 2, 3.
What am I saying?
Hello.
Okay, that's it.
What do they sound like?
Almost like Daffy Duck, but they thought it was you.
Someone said I sounded like Daffy Duck. Y'all going straight to hell. Down.
That sounds just like Daffy Duck.
It does sound just fucking like Daffy Duck.
Are y'all, what? You're saying I sound like Daffy?
No, the caller, go. You're good. Can you do that again? Hello? Oh my God, do y'all hear that? Like, I promise y'all, it ain't Dago. I swear on everything I am. I could show you my Discord. He ain't even online. How are you doing that? I can't understand it. Can you?
Somebody said he's in North Carolina. Bad signal.
That was really wrong for whoever said that. That was wrong. North Carolina has good signal, okay?
Is it what they're saying? Is it Willie?
Oh, Willie. It might be Willie. Are you Willie?
Nope, they call me Kermit the Frog.
Okay.
I like to report the news.
Say that again?
I like to report the news. I have a girlfriend named Piggy.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Do your hands always smell like bacon? I'm just curious. One more time?
I didn't catch
I
it.
didn't either.
My fingers could smell like bacon, but that wouldn't be very good. Although bacon is really good to eat.
Well, I would hope if your girlfriend is Miss Piggy, then bacon would be good to eat.
Oh, she's a bad cook, but it still tastes good.
Sergeant, it's not Sarge. Maybe.
Sarge couldn't fake a southern accent, though, I don't think. No, hell, he ain't online either.
No. Did we even ask his name? What's your name? Well, Kermit. Is this Kermit now, or?
They call me Cookie Monster.
Fucking Cookie Monster.
Me no cookie.
I love cookies. Honey, me and you, we could get down. I love some damn cookies.
Cookies so good. Yum, 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 yum.
I don't even know what's happening right now. It's late night. I wish I was drunk, because I'd be tripping.
They think it's great.
Well, that wouldn't necessarily be a good thing.
Cute.
You're welcome.
That's cute.
You're so welcome.
We got all the characters. That was pretty good.
Oh, I got a lot more. Trust me.
I actually believe that. You kind of got me with the, like, do you put mustard on potatoes? What?
Yeah, you don't put mustard on them biscuits. Mustard on them french fried tater. Yum, yum, yum.
You're a nut. Luke, I'm your father.
Sometimes.
They said truth.
Sorry, my name ain't Truth, but nice try.
He sounds like a kid now. I wish I was.
I promise you I am not a child. I may act like one, but I'm not a child.
No. Oh, here. You speak, fiance.
What? Why do you want me to speak? This is your show.
No, but you take the wheel.
Jesus took the wheel for the real deal, okay?
That's true. I know he's taken it from me a few times. You gonna talk or you gonna sit there and read chat?
They're all like, "Hi, Chris."
Took them long enough to figure it out.
I think a few of them had it pretty quick.
Yeah, they did. A few of them were like, "That's Chris."
Oh, I know why you put it over here.
Everybody run and tell everybody the big bad monster's got a sense of humor. Look out.
And look, he might be talking to a man. His fiance would talk to him.
Yeah, it took me a second to figure out what the fuck you were throwing the mic at me for, but now I get it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
What'd you think of that interview?
Yeah. What was your thoughts on?
It's an interview. I mean.
Yeah.
Not nerve shattering.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell people that we're going to discuss things that we're not supposed to discuss. I'm not. I think Seth not trying, how about using Mr. Mattis as a spokesperson probably is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with being on YouTube's. I mean, if you're going to use a spokesperson, I would definitely push. YouTube wouldn't have been my first place, for sure. But I guess small steps is better than no steps, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, at least there wasn't no shit slinging tonight. I'm thankful for that. So.
I got a question.
Well,
sorry.
Here's what I will say. Despite how everybody out there has their own opinion, despite how everybody has their own feelings, at the end of the day, when you go in and you look at the situation for truly what it is, you strip away all the crap, go back to meat and potatoes of what it just is. It's three parents that are seriously hurting because they don't have their son.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And everybody's going to react differently, and everybody's going to lash out in their own ways, and some have a little bit more control than others. And that's on all three of us. Because I will tell you right now, I'm beyond frustrated that we have a situation we actually have no leads on. Absolutely nothing. Nothing credible anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife is hurting. You know, everybody wants to know why she doesn't want to go and talk. Well, it's simple. You know, everybody just bashes. Bashes, and bashes. You know, everybody has a narrative, and they need a villain to fill in that narrative.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. It truly is. It's a terrible thing that it is where it has, and, you know, it's her or it's me. In some cases, it may be Seth, and it really shouldn't be. I think all these YouTube videos out here should change course a little bit. I mean, yes, you're going to have your people out there that are going to say the things that they want to say, accuse people what they want to accuse them of, because in the end, everybody has the same question: how and why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's only one person holding that answer, and that's who we're all looking for. You know, and everybody wants to see that well, it can't be this because of this, and it can't be that because this doesn't make sense. You know, and in all truth, a lot of it doesn't make sense. It truly doesn't.
No, I
But
mean,
every situation is different. Not one single case is ever the same. It's really not. I mean, look at the Riley Strand case.
Yeah.
It started out the exact same way. The only difference is they actually had video footage of Riley Strand walking in downtown, and then he vanishes off the camera.
Yeah.
But then they lose everything. No sighting of him. Nobody knew anything, and it took some folks. I'm not sure. Let me put it this way. I'm not sure who found what. From what I understand, they found a bank card on an embankment, which that's something. It led them to the river, which in return they found Riley. So they got closure. It sucks how they got it, but they got closure.
Yeah.
You know, and that family, and I'm sure, has gone through not quite the same, but I'm sure there was stuff slung and slung. It just, his case was able to end a lot faster than where we are with Sebastian's case.
Well, and I would say there's, something to be said about the search actually produced things, right? Like the footage came out, that was something that kept it current without a bunch of drama. It was, he was found relatively quickly in the scheme of things, and so, I don't know. It's a...
Well, if you break down this whole situation, and like I said, I'm not here to bash or knock anyone. I'm not. Yes, I'm frustrated and pissed off at some points to where, you get to a breaking point and you keep poking and you keep poking, and finally you're going to catch it. And it sucks that people have to poke. And I get it. They need the clicks. They need the information. They all have this I want to know, not a I need to know. But trust me, there ain't nobody's need or want bigger than, and I'm going to say this, ain't nobody's need or want bigger than Katie, Seth, myself. Ain't nobody. And I'm telling you right now, if it came down to only two people had to know, it'd have to be Seth and Katie.
No,
my job is to protect my wife, and I'm going to do that. I would hope.
Hopefully he's found, and then it'll all come to a close anyway, in all honesty.
Well, and I've told this to a couple people. When Sebastian's found, people are going to have to learn how to eat some humble pie. There's not one soul on this earth that has never tasted it. Because you're not always right, but you're not always wrong either. There's a side to this whole situation a lot of people don't stop to think about for just for 1 minute. Let's look at the compassion side of the house for a minute. Because Lord knows that picture's not even, that thing's bone dry. But the hatred, the negativity, boy, those cups floweth over like nobody's business. No, people have to understand a few things before they want to start throwing some shade. I'm not an emotional person. I'm just not. My wife is the emotional one. I'm the more logical thinker as far as step for step. Got to see what we can do. Now, I just said that, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow, mark my words, somebody's going to take this and twist it.
Why is he joking
around? And that's fine. But here's what they don't know. All three parents were vetted. All three parents were cleared. Now, law enforcement's not going to come out and say that because they can't for protocol reasons.
Well, and I have
yes,
asked.
There was a reason to show that we, as in any one of the parents, had any form of negligence, any foul play. Don't you think after 60-something days, somebody would be in a pair of handcuffs? Well, we were told, and the assets that they put into the search for Sebastian was probably one of the largest assets that had been applied to Sumner County in general. They had fixed wing, they had helicopters, we had drones, horsebacks, ATVs, side-by-sides. We had people on foot. It's so aggravating. It truly is aggravating, and folks don't understand. There might be a few people in this world, don't get me wrong, that have had missing children and have been found. And then there are some that had missing children but got closure. There are some families that don't have closure. But people don't stop to think that how all of this, in the long run, affects not just the parents, but everyone. Law enforcement, parents, family, distant family, the community in itself. Because God knows our community is up and it's like a split down the middle. People are against us, people are for us. I got somebody out there apparently who is trying to act like me, sound like me, answer questions like I would.
And you got cousins.
It's really amazing.
And you got cousins calling in.
Love cousins, I heard it. Comical, don't get me wrong, it's very comical. 15 years old, apparently, what do you say, eating frogs or some stuff and pooping on a mouse or something?
Said thank you for your service, Chris and Katie, from many of us in chat.
Thank you for your support, and you're very welcome. And I speak on behalf of both of us when I say that. Don't get me wrong, and I know everybody has a hard time understanding this, but if Katie wants to talk, Katie can talk. But everything that Katie has ever said, everybody has twisted, turned it, manipulated it, and used it for their own personal narrative or their benefit. Now, mind you, her son's missing, and not a soul out there that wants to bash her, twist it, and do whatever they want to do. Not one person has stopped us consider being in her shoes. Because what? Let's go back and, let's play this, what do they call it, statistics game?
mothers who are missing children, they see that mothers did it, or a step-parent's done it, or a father's done it, and that's not always the case. You can't control them. You can't control the narratives. You can't control what people think, feel, you know.
No.
I wouldn't want to, because it'd be a very boring world if you did. Downside, I think a lot of folks were upset, very upset that, you know, on day one we weren't running to the media. That we weren't screaming from the hills and the heavens of the earth saying this and that and yada yada yada. Because honestly, when you're in the situation, and trust me, anybody that has been in the situation, law enforcement is all over you. I mean, they're all over you. You can't do anything. I mean, they're going to watch every little single step you take, every little thing that you do, you know. But a few things that some folks don't understand, and I understand it is an emotional thing for a woman, where men are more logical. Women are, you know, their child's missing. They want to be able to find that child, run to that child, reach out and grab that child, hold that child tight. Who doesn't? Especially when you're missing, especially at the end of the night when we don't get to go into his room and tell him goodnight, or he doesn't give us a hug, or we get to roughhouse. He doesn't get to play with the pups, you know. Kids at school missing, and that sucks. I mean, we don't go out because we listen to what law enforcement tells us to do. Law enforcement says we need to be available, then by golly, we're going to be available for whatever they need. Seth, I'm not speaking negative on Seth. I need everybody to understand. Yeah, he's said some things that him and I and Katie will handle later down the road. It doesn't have to be he said, she said, let's point fingers, poke each other's eyes out, and then play this game. It doesn't have to be that way. It never should have been that way. I mean, he's grieving. He's dealing with his grief in his own way. One of your callers said something about us having a one spokesperson for all three of us, basically. Mm-hmm. I heard her say that. She was a little upset that it didn't happen. So let me clear the air on something. Seth did mention Mr. Mattis to us. And I'm not going to be that type of person that's going to react right away, nor should Katie. Because everything that everybody has been telling us or put out there, you know, why would you want to believe something? Because everything that everybody's told you, where they come on to you and they tell you something, and then they want to spin it and twist it. I mean, there's been some folks reach out to us and talk to us, you know, and I'm not naming names. I'm not going to name drop people. There's one that's not fair. I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but people need to understand it's hard to trust folks when they say one thing. They don't necessarily have to do something, but then you turn around and you get about 20 other people that will come against somebody and say something totally else. So why even worry about it? Why try to deal with it? Don't. Mr. Mattis was, you know, he's got a pretty good record. I'm not going to discredit him. I think if he can reel Seth in, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to close the door on it, but that would be a discussion for Katie and myself to decide whether we want to pursue that avenue. Yes, we've had talks with Mr. Mattis. Yes, we have. I've also talked to the dog handler that Seth wanted. I don't know. And there's going to be a lot of questions about a lot of things down the road, I'm sure. We tried to be transparent before and answer questions. And of course, you know, people twisted it. Now, I will go out on a limb here. And I normally won't do this, but there was one person who I went on a show, was answering some questions. That person called into the show and said that I was lying. The very next day, that same person who said I was lying did send me a message apologizing that they were wrong. And my response was, it's not personal, and it's okay. So although everybody thinks I'm this horrific monster, I'm truly not. Some people need to understand about that, and I've heard that same statement. You know, what's his name? Dolly is out there saying some stuff. JLR's out there doing his thing. And I'm sure there's many more. Many more. But honestly, it doesn't, I don't care what you say. I don't owe anybody anything. What I owe is I owe love of my wife, my 2 kids, my family. And that's what I owe everything. You know, we go to church. We got a good church family. You know, everybody took it out of context when I told Seth, you want to find Sebastian, go to church. And I hate that people took that out of context. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I think, and this is one of my faults, and I'll be honest with you, could Dolly's show, could JLR show, sorry about that, could these other folk shows that are out there that are, I don't know, they're called Websluthes, whatever. Yeah. And I hate to say this, but I look it up in the dictionary and then go look it up in an urban dictionary. One says you're stealing information. The other one says you're a detective. Yeah. When do detectives put opinion before facts? And I hate, you know, it sucks. Trust me. We would love nothing more than to scream everything out that we know, but we don't, because law enforcement we work with very closely. We listen to them. We respect their decisions. We respect what they're doing. Although a lot of folks don't understand the madness and the chaos, but I promise you there is method to it. I mean, it sucks. It truly sucks. I mean, people ask people all the time about this picture in North Carolina. We don't need to talk about it. Yeah. You know, I mean, people are trying to talk about it. This is my personal opinion, and it's just like an asshole. Everybody's got one, they all stink. But the picture, if we talk about it and we put it out there, and all of these other people are out there doing the same thing, everybody acts differently. Seth drove to North Carolina. We were told by law enforcement, stand down, don't worry about it. They will inform us what's going on. But right now, if you were to go out there, you're not going to get anything. Yeah. Seth drove out there, and Seth did not get anything. Now, he got some flyers out. Don't get me wrong. It's great. It's awesome. As much as we want everybody to know this story, hear this story, I mean, shucks. Even across Tennessee, I can't believe how many people don't understand or know what's actually going on.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie, I was shocked to hear Seth say that when he was out there, they didn't, you know, people didn't even know about Sebastian. And because my perception is as many people as watch YouTube and social media and you know, hell, just troll it if nothing else, the fact that, you know, he ran into people that didn't know about it is just amazing to me. But I mean, at the same time, I look back, it ain't been that long ago. She and I were down the road and ran into 2 in one day that didn't know about it, and it had been going on for at least a month at that time. So
here's an interesting little story. So one night we had ordered pizza, and I went to a restaurant, which I'm not going to disclose, by the way. Love the restaurant. I went there and picked up, and I walked in the door, and they had the flyer posted right up next to the door. One of the colors, they had it. It's awesome. But when I went there to get the pizza, the flyer was gone. And when I went up to the counter to pay, I asked them, I said, hey, what happened to the flyer that was on the door here? They said, oh, no, they found that boy.
What?
Huh? Yeah. I was like, they said they found him. I said, what are you talking about? They go, yeah, he was found in the river. I said, no. Hold on a minute. Hold on. What you're referring to is Riley Strain, right? I go, yeah. I said, well, that's not Riley Strain. And that just tells me that you haven't looked at the flyer. The flyer is for Sebastian Blaine Drake Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic child. Oh, we're so sorry we didn't know. I was like, yeah, so can I bring you another flyer inside and we post it up again, please? They said, sure, go right on ahead. And we did. I mean, it's it's amazing the places that you'll go, the people you'll encounter. Hell, even your neighbors sometimes don't even know. Yes, you own your own mailbox, but the service is a federal service, and technically when you do that, you're considered tampering with it. I mean, I don't personally advise people into doing that. I mean, it's hard because you, as the parent, you want it to go in mailboxes, you want it on car windows, you want it on doors. Like, just, you know how people walk up to your door and they try to do their soliciting and put those things in your door?
Yeah.
You know, that. I mean, if there was a way to make this into a postcard and we could just send this across the world to every person, that'd be amazing, but we can't. So here's what I do know to be true. I know there are flyers as far north as Canada.
Okay.
In English, French, and Spanish. There's a company, I don't know if I have the permission to use their title, so I'm not going to, but they did a solid to my family, and they did that. We didn't ask, they just went ahead and did it. Organizations out there, whether or not you like us or not, I mean, everybody, there's been a lot of places that have done a lot of things. I've seen videos, some kids in Australia putting out a video, like support Sebastian, England. I know there is some stuff in England. I got some friends in Japan. State-wise, I know it has gotten all the way down to as far as Florida. Surrounding states have it. I personally put out signs from Nashville all the way down to Memphis, down I-40, getting off exits, getting on the entrance ramps right there.
Yeah.
Rest stops, that's a good place. I mean, shucks, we did. I mean, I can tell you, I counted, no joke, at one point, from Memphis to Nashville, there were 7 billboards. Some on 240, some on 40, some on the 55 down here, and then all the way up into Nashville. I've seen billboards. I don't know. Is it enough? Probably not. It's not.
Well,
and anybody who has a child that's, as much as I hate to say this, because this is not going to stop. There are going to be families that are going to be missing children because there are some very cruel, deceitful, and vile people in this world. Those other families, they're gonna feel this, and I hope, for the love of God, that they don't have to feel it like this. And I got a great idea for all these YouTubers and stuff out there. I got a great idea for them. Come together. Everybody's good. And I'm gonna tell you, some of the stuff I have seen people dig up, and they should have left it alone, but they dug up, so they're really good at this kind of stuff. So why can't they organize a massive, I don't know, call it an awareness day or something, and fundraise the crap out of it. Get everybody to come around. Hold it in different states. Try to do it all on the same day. One day, make it a national awareness day. Well, the reason why I'm saying it like this is because why don't they, let's get one hell of a turnout. Do a fun-a-thon. I mean, Dick Clark did it for God knows how long, and he's always been successful. St. Jude.
Yeah.
St. Jude is amazing. They do it every year. They get people supporting them without question. Why not reach out to some music artists? Make it a festival. There we go. Make it a festival. Get some music artists involved. See if they'll donate their time. Come play a song or two, whatever. And then everybody's like, well, what do you do with the money? Well, that's simple. You can start up a fund in your states where all that money that goes in there, that can be utilized to help fund the billboards, printing flyers, the yard signs, buttons, keychains. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not one to try to put that together. I would be horrible at that, please. I mean, I don't know. Bring the FBI out to these things. Not in a questionable capacity. Bring them out. So the military does this all the time. You know, look at the NFL draft. They do this huge thing for a week, take over a town. Awesome. With all these experiences and things that you can do. Well, may not make it a week. Make it like a day or two. You know, but they would set up and have vendors come in. Vendors could sell their products, and then a lot of the vendors would donate a certain percentage back to the cause, basically. And then, like I said, you know, the FBI would be there for helping awareness for the national missing children, all those children that are missing. I mean, that's phenomenal. There's I don't remember where it was at. I think it was Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent. I don't know, one of those shows. But Google it, or it's on YouTube. There was imagine that, huh? There was a choir that sang songs, sang one this big, long. It was gorgeous, it was beautiful. But in the background on the stage, it was people who have been missing for years, anywhere from 2 days to 20 to 30 years, and they're still promoting that. I'm telling you, get a chance, look it up. The song's beautiful. Shh, don't tell people that, okay? You're gonna mess up my street cred. You're gonna mess up my holler cred, okay?
Well, before you get off here, you gotta holler at me, you know, like holler and get mad, because otherwise that'll be the thing tomorrow. See, he backs down when he talks to a man.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Your show is so damn funny, I swear. What the crap are you putting out there? Man, it laughs so hard.
He does. and it grew, 10 times, they said? Hey, white horse fell in the mud. Ooh. See, I got dad jokes, too. That's funny because, Katie, it took a while to talk her into it. That little video, Sebastian's holding that green cup and a little half-gallon jug of green tea in his hand.
Yeah.
Green tea! Corking, and it's great. He's a good kid. There ain't a perfect child in this world. Every kid, they're a kid.
Yeah.
Parenting does not come with a manual. No child in this world is the same. You don't ever treat them the same. You don't ever give them the same, because everybody's personality is so unique and so different. And if we were to do that, if we were to treat them all the same, then Lord knows it would be a very boring world. I mean, trust me, it is. Horse of a different color. Every situation is so different. So different. My daughter is my daughter, and then I have Sebastian, who's my son. Some people are like, what's your stepson? Yeah, well, I have news for folks. I don't like putting titles behind it. I don't like saying the stepson. Sorry, he's my son. I love him just like he's my own. It doesn't matter. Every once in a while, Sebastian, he'll slip up. It's kind of funny. He'll slip up. He'll be in a conversation. He'll be talking to me and his mom or something. He'll be like, well, I was telling him that my dad, Mr. Chris. It's like, it's all right, dude. Call me whatever you want. Well, it's funny that I heard this and I've seen this in some of these chats out there, okay? Somebody had a problem with Sebastian saying Mr. Chris. And I'm sure there's more than one, but whatever. Sebastian does that. That's his own choice. It's his own choice. I don't care what he calls me. He can call me Dad, call me Chris, Mr. Chris. Fine. I don't care. I do the same with my stepdad growing up. We didn't call him Dad. We didn't call him my stepdad. We didn't call him, Mr. So-and-so. Sometimes it's Dad. Sometimes it's his name. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all it really mattered is, I wasn't the best kid growing up, but I do know that my parents loved me, and I'm sure I gave them hell. Actually, I know I gave them hell. But, it's very unique that people see it differently. And they're like, oh, that's so wrong. But it's like, well, that's fine. It's your prerogative. It's your choice. But deep down, there's a lot of things people will never see behind closed doors. Never. Because those are our memories with our children. Yeah. Not for the public. Not at all. You got to hold some things near and dear to your heart. I'm going to go cry now. You done hurt my feelings? You done yelled at me? Oh, my God. I'm going to go stand in the corner now. Which is a circle. How you confuse somebody. Tell them, put them in a circle and tell them to go stand in the corner. No, I'm not being mean. I swear. I promise.
That's just people. They're going to think. They're going to talk, and they're going to get on YouTube and chat.
From what I have seen, I think the public's doing a great job. They are talking. They're spreading the word. The negativity, it's negative, but they are still keeping Sebastian's name out there. That is about the only positive thing about the negative stuff. I know that sounds oxymoronic, but Jesus, look at me using big words.
Other than mustard and biscuits.
I bust out the dictionary for that one. Hold on a minute. But no, I think they're doing great things. They truly are. If skywriting it across the world, it still wouldn't be enough. And I'm saying this as the parent, as one of the three parents, but also I'm sitting here and I'm looking, and the more I talk, the more I'm sitting here thinking, like, what about these other families out there that don't have the answers as well? Here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. It sucks to know that there's a very good chance that we will be one of the statistics that this keeps going and going and going and going and going. I don't know how people are doing it. No, I'm not trying to be negative when I say this, but one of the first things I remember when I had heard the first newscast about Sebastian's missing, I had heard on the radio that TBI had just released a sketch on Summer Wells, where a futuristic, where they projected where she would be 8 years old today, and they projected that picture, and it sucks. It sucks to know that is very much a possibility, and I don't know how those parents do it. I don't.
And a professional's done this, and that's probably fairly close to what your kid would look like, and you've missed the time from where they were to what you're looking at, because they don't stop growing and changing.
Well, I don't know.
So I'll give you a little insight on somehow military folks feel. And no, not everybody feels this way. But if you're in the military and you deployed, this is how it feels. Is you're going away. The world continues to move. Everything continues to happen. And when you come back from that deployment, everything's different. Everything's changed. And you feel like you've lost so much that the world passed you by. That same feeling is the same feeling if I had to guess how they feel. That's the closest that I would truly couldn't come close to understand. Katie's deployed, and she was a mom.
Yeah.
And she deployed, and she had to miss a lot of things. I deployed. I missed a lot of things with my daughter. I did. It sucks. But that's the closest thing I could fathom of how they feel.
Katie was telling me that after he went missing, they were putting out little bags of snacks and Yoo-hoos because he loves chocolate milk, but the chocolate milk would go bad. So they were putting out Yoo-hoos in snack bags and putting his name on it and making a trail. So if he was in the woods, he could follow them out. And then she said the neighbors in the neighborhood put the same thing, snacks in a bag on the porch with his name on it. So he would
Yeah, it's so law enforcement actually somebody brought that up, and it was one of the things that they were like, well, you know, he's out there, he's gonna be hungry, he's gonna be thirsty. You know, law enforcement was like, you know, they're trying everything. They did. I mean, I don't know what else they could have tried that they didn't try. I mean, when they were on searches, if, you know, yes, they didn't have people going out with their search teams, but don't get me wrong, they were out there hanging those bags in the woods just as well. Just as well. I mean, who knows? And it sucks. It does. If everybody came together, regardless whether or not people like your show, you know, there are a few exceptions. I'm not going to put the names out. I'm sure people would figure that out. There are a few exceptions that I don't think should be a part of it. But, I mean, if you put that big of a crowd together, and even on, like, let's call it a phone-a-thon, and everybody was on their shows at the exact same time, and everybody was pushing these cases and putting up slideshows with music tools, you know, and not necessarily in a negative light. You know, the families out there, I mean, they could put the missing person and the family side by side on a slideshow. This family's missing this level, and roll it through, and let all of these people, let everybody be heard. I mean, I know there's going to be some negative. I'm sure there is. But, I mean, if I could ask for one thing, I would ask for, if that could be done, a day of compassion.
No,
and see where it goes.
That's a fair ask.
And it's pretty sad. It's just, and there's nothing. I mean, it's, like I said, it's going to be very hard for folks to understand and try to put stuff together and wrap their head around the idea of we just don't know. Because, I mean, people are saying, you know, they just don't disappear. Well, we understand that. We do. And we're not saying no to that, but we're saying nobody has an idea. Law enforcement, nothing.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people have got ideas, but nobody's got any evidence. Is that a fair statement?
I mean, that is very fair. Law enforcement has said it best. Everything is still on the table. There's absolutely no evidence of foul play.
Yeah.
And that all parents have been cooperating since day one with all law enforcement, regardless of what they've asked for. Doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. Your world that you think that you have, let me tell you something how bad it puts inside out. Every intimate detail that you could ever think of will come out.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, people sit down and look in a mirror, look at themselves and actually say, I've never done anything that I regret or I'm not proud of. It would come out. It would. And it sucks. But it will, because that's what people are trying to. I think people would get a lot more clicks, a lot more likes with compassion than necessarily the drama. How many shows out there, and I don't know, so forgive me, because I'm very new to all of this. So is Katie, so is Seth. I mean, we're all new to this.
Yeah.
But how many shows, not just logistically, but overall, how many are for the good? Not for entertainment purposes, but for the good.
And I feel conflicted about it at times myself.
But see, the worst part is, yeah, you're right. You're very, very correct on what you said. But the other side of that none of them, I seriously don't think that not a single one of them have considered the other side of the coin. What is the repercussions that not the creator, not the show, but what is the repercussions that are behind that everybody else has to suffer from? Brett, stalking. You're being dragged through the mud 24/7. It's out there.
Yeah.
It truly is. Here's one that'll blow your mind. It's going to completely look out. You better sit down for this, okay? People drive by the house, they drive by the camper, and they're saying all these negative things. Once again, this goes right back to my statement that your whole world gets flipped inside out. Because every move that we've made, or any single thing that we do, we call the law enforcement. And we say, hey, look, I know there's going to be some rhetoric, and I know there's going to be turmoil with this. However, this is what we're doing. Are you okay with this, yes or no? And they give us the yes or the no.
Yeah.
If they say no to something, okay, well, how can we fix it to do this? What do we need to do that? You know, they see us doing that, and they're transforming it into something totally different. When they see Seth out there running around doing what he's doing, that is his way of handling it, and that's fine. I have my way of handling it, so does Katie. I'm not speaking for Seth. Katie can always speak for herself. I'm listening to law enforcement. I'm going to do what they say, give them what they want, absolute access to every single thing that they need. And trust me, nothing, I don't know how to explain that, has not been scoured through, looked through, dug in, dug up, that they don't know about. Everything everybody's out here revealing, like it's some great news, and I promise you it's not. Because law enforcement's already had it. They had it day one. They had like dossiers on all of us. I mean, anything that you could think of, they knew it. Legitimately. They knew about our divorces. They knew, anything and everything. And I'll just leave it at that. Well, I mean, it's hard because I know everybody has their opinion. They do, because like I said, it's hard to wrap your head around what has been released, because not everything has been released to the public. It can't, because this is an ongoing investigation. Notice I said an investigation. It's not a criminal investigation. If it was a criminal investigation, not one single parent would be talking to anybody. Mm-hmm. And everybody would have probably lawyered up. And that's something people don't understand. Nobody's lawyered up. Well, here's the funny thing. And I find this extremely funny. Okay, because when I listen, I've heard all of them out there. Smiley World, I've heard Duchess, yours, Sarge's. I heard y'all call him Rascal. Is it Pascal or Rascal? I don't know. But his show, The Dolly Show, Trev Time, T-Rev. I don't know if that's the same person. If it is, okay, that's cool, whatever. I don't think who else. I mean, there's so many out there. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure I've missed a lot, and I'm sorry if I did. But if one of the things that I would suggest that they change on their shows, and they want to get more participation out of their shows from families, is conduct your interview. If you want to do an interview, get all of your questions out. Get them written down. Turn your chat off. Turn them off. Stop letting your chats fuel the purpose of your show. And that's just the thing. I mean, and trust me, yeah, I went off on whatever that show was. Where it was me, PIs, moderators, the lady, and
WebSleuths.
Sure, whatever. So, here's my takeaway. You poke the bear too much because you're opening your mouth with things you shouldn't have said, first off. You have no idea. You're just making assumptions. And I gotta have the facts. I want the facts. I don't want the crap. I just want the facts. You know, and it irritates you when all of that took place. Yes, I was irritated with Seth, but it still does not stop me from having a conversation with him. It doesn't. I mean, I drove to the school the day of that vigil, and I explained to him, one, why we're not attending the vigil. He respected that. I appreciated that. You know, prior to the vigil, I saw his hood up on his car. I stopped by to check on him. Now, mind you, there had already been mud swung, but who cares? Because I'm still going to check on the guy. I don't have to like what he says or does, but I check on him.
Compassion, just being a human with humanity. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't, if you're on the side of the road, I mean, no joke. This happened not too long ago. Actually, there was a lady, she wrecked out because it was raining, and Lord knows the Memphis roads are horrible. She smashed up the whole front end of her car. Everybody drove past her. Well, Katie and I pulled over, stopped to check on her. You know, I mean, we turned around, I helped push the car off to the side of the road because where it was at. I don't have to know these people. I don't. But I think people do have compassion. I think they just have to reach back and find it. You know, all these shows that want people to come on and they get pissed off because people aren't coming on their shows. I think a lot of it, if you changed the way you did your shows.
And I'm not going to say you have to do it for everybody. I'm not. But I will tell you right now, one, Katie's not going to come on anybody's show and talk to people because of the way they handle their shit. Now, I'm not speaking for her. I'm just telling you what I have been told. She's not going to do it. True. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Seth said some things I really don't think should have ever been aired out. That's my personal opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not speaking for Katie. I'm not speaking for anybody else. It's my opinion. Now, all of those conversations that he has brought up have been handled before, and it sounds like there's still some issues there that need to have these conversations again. And those will happen. And yes, when we talk, it's not a fist drag-out fight. I know people think that, oh my God, I can only imagine how it goes. But it's not. Completely opposite of what people would think. I mean, I went up there and talked to Seth like a normal human person. You know, people out there trying to take the picture. My back was turned for a reason. I don't want to be one of your poster children that goes up here and, you know, oh my God, check this out. Like, no, it was a good conversation. At the end of it, Seth actually comes on, and I don't know who it was, but I had heard he went on a show or a news outlet, or I don't think the news, because he said some pretty derogatory things there, but he's mad. He's upset. But, I mean, he did say we're working together. It was a good conversation. No, nothing's perfect. It's not. I wish it was. You know, here's a little something. I don't think it gets put out there a lot, but we said a unified front. We were unified. We were. And a disagreement, I think, may have been the start of the unraveling of that unit. Now, does that mean that it can't ever be fixed? No, I'm not saying that. I think it can be fixed.
Yeah.
And let me tell you right now, it will be fixed. It's not that it can, it will be fixed. When Sebastian comes home, Sebastian still has his 3 parents. I mean, we have to remember this is Sebastian, not the parents. You know, Sebastian will be 18 in 3 years. God, time flies. I mean, 3 years, he's a legal adult. God, where's the time going? But I mean, there'll be a lot of things to be fixed for Sebastian and for the parents.
Well, but for him first and foremost, you know.
That's why I stayed at Sebastian first.
Yeah.
There were some people out there who were completely and utterly against me, like, oh. But after they sat down and they talked and they listened, and I tried to answer what I could with those folks. I think it worked for a lot. For some, it didn't. It just gave them a reason to twist things and come up with more dirt and rhetoric and crap, and it is what it is. But some of these, God, all I had to do was just talk. Somebody sent that clip to me and asked me, was that your cousin? Nope, not at all. Well, how do you know? Did you stop and ask him questions? Did it make sense? He said he knew me, hadn't spoken to him in a long time. He knew Katie, hadn't talked to him in, I think he said 8 years.
Yeah,
I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't know Katie 8 years ago. Oh, man.
But I do think there are a lot of people out there that really want to help, and they want to see Sebastian come home, and they show it in different ways. So
there's something that here's going to be a bombshell for you, okay? Mr. Mattis is the spokesperson for Seth. He's doing a good job. He just started. Huge improvement, given that. Part of that stipulation is if he represents you, you do not, absolutely do not, go on any more interviews. You don't talk to people unless he talks to them first. And his motive is very simple. He drives it straight to keeping it on Sebastian. I think he did a good job tonight on whatever y'all call the guy's name, Rascal Pascal. Mr. Mattis did a pretty good job. I'm pretty sure Pascal wanted to go off and kind of steer off in a little bit of direction, but Mr. Mattis was like, nope,
yeah.
Boom, here it is. There's logic to what he is doing. I understand it completely. If that is something that, if Katie and I decide to go that route, we all decide to use Mr. Mattis, that is his number one golden rule. He will be the spokesperson. He will handle everything as far as interview, the media, social media. That's where his is. As far as the law enforcement goes, that is with parents. So if that is something, I guess everybody needs to understand. He's now with Mr. Mattis. All these shows out there that wanted him on their show at some point, you're gonna need to reach out to Mr. Mattis. Don't call Seth. If you do, send him an email asking him about, sitting down with a spokesperson. And I know it sounds like I'm talking for him, but there is positive in this. There truly is. If they can't see the positive in it, I'd be baffled. I truly would. I'd be baffled. I mean, I have my own reservations. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and swear up down that. I'm so gung ho. Oh my God, let's, start paddling this canoe up a creek real quick. Ain't happening. But Katie and I just have to do some talking. We need to figure some things out and see where we go from there. If it does happen, unfortunately, a lot of people get upset because there ain't gonna be any talking. I mean, there's not really gonna be shows for us to be a part of or Seth to be a part of without keeping Mr. Mattis in the loop first. And trust me, I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say to his face. I wouldn't say anything. Everything I'm saying, I wouldn't say behind somebody's back. I'll tell you to your face. Yeah. I got no problem with that, which kind of makes me the asshole. I think I came out my mom screaming, I'm an asshole. Oh, God. But, if there was just a miracle that we could have and put all this to rest and God, just Sebastian come home. Sebastian loves animals. Loves. That's stupid, but he loves animals. I don't know if he'd get behind running up in a chicken house, but you never know. You'd always be surprised.
Well, if
I'd be afraid of a big old rooster come over and get him, take off running, freaking out.
If I went in the chicken house and he was there, I would probably lay an egg.
Oh, my God. But, I don't know. Katie's not really much of a talker. It's a struggle. When she's ready, and just all I ask is people give her some time. When she's ready, she'll talk. So, law enforcement at the very beginning, we had asked a question about media, and their advice was stay off of it. I wouldn't do it. I don't recommend doing it. I don't. Everything we said, I don't recommend doing it. We can't stop you. I don't recommend doing it. Well, it's kind of like being at that point in your life when you step back and you said, damn, my parents were right. That exact same moment is how it feels when you realize, why don't we just fucking listen? It's very different. It's different. I mean, this is a situation. And in the military, you can see, and you've done a lot of things, and you think, wow, these life experiences will never be topped. Well, this one's right up there. Not quite some, but I mean, it's right up there. It's definitely in my top 3. I beg, and I don't know how. No, I'm sorry, I can't get on my knees. My knees are fucking shot, basically. But we're begging. We beg, we plead. Spread his name, put a flyer up. Tie a green ribbon around the tree. Somebody said that before, and I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to see a mom cry, man. Watch the whole neighborhood, trees with green ribbons on them. She drives by them. I mean, she'd lose her shit. I will say this much. No, I don't need a shirt.
By the way, you made Scooters over here bust a blood vessel in her eye when you were prank calling.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
And I'm really a little like jaded that you didn't pull out the mask.
Oh, the mask
impression. You pull them all out right away. You got to say it.
You got to keep a few in your back pocket.
Yeah. You can't just pull them all the way out.
I knew as soon as I heard the Sling Blade, I'm like, oh hell, fire! And then everybody's like, that's Baby Clue, and I'm like, no, it ain't, y'all. It ain't Baby Clue. You do have one of the best Sling Blade impressions I have heard to date. I will give you that.
No, I agree with that.
That shit's
Yeah.
funny.
Great movie. I don't know. I love that movie. Watching it, it just kind of stuck with me. This is easy. I'm calling Tiger Blade. I call it Sling Blade.
That was y'all. That was him the whole time. Like he was Sling Blade,
Daffy Duck, Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster. That was him. They're asking, was he
Prince
Sling
Frog.
Blade?
Yeah, Kermit was the other
Yeah,
one.
I'm the guy that was actually doing the Billy Bob Thornton Sling Blade impression.
I was amazed too at the amount of people in the room that were like, "That's Chris. That's Chris." I'm like, how in the hell do these people know it's him? Like, y'all listen too damn close.
I'm calling it Tiger Blade. I call it Sling Blade.
They do want to help. Everybody has their own skills and their own talents. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just you sit in a crane, you get bored. You sit on a construction site, you get bored. You know, my dog? It's so funny. We got these two little Mortons, and got him a haircut. One of them looks good with a haircut. The other one looks like, oh, what's his name? Dolby. Yeah, Mr. Dave posted Dolby.
Yeah.
Dolby caught a sock. Dolby free. Dog looks like Dolby. I swear to God.
Whisper.
Did we lose you?
What was that lady's name that show I was on the other night?
WebSleuths.
Sure. Yeah. By the way.
Oh, are you talking about the one you called into? What was it yesterday? Crime stories.
No, not her. I'm talking about the one that it was kind of like her moderators, the two PIs and Seth or whatever that show.
WebSleuths.
I know she ain't gonna find this very funny, but try to find humor in this. But you're welcome. Biggest show you ever had, from what I heard. You're welcome. And no, I don't mean to be an asshole. What I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be sarcastic. But yes, legitimately, you're welcome.
Trish is her name, right?
I'm not gonna fault her for what she did. I'm not. I don't hold the grudges on people. But I mean, apparently from what I heard, it was her biggest show ever. So you're welcome. Sorry, everybody, if I decided to have a goofy night, and sorry if y'all got upset. And try to find the positive in life. Find your compassion. I'm talking to everybody, not just this chat. I'm talking to everybody because I know they're gonna get this clip and they're gonna turn it and twist it. And we're gonna play this. Listen to this. Do you hear how he's doing this? Do you hear that? Whatever. Ain't too bad I ain't got the Morgan Freeman voice down. Oh my God.
Oh, that would be.
I'd love to have done that.
That would be a good one. I don't know.
Oh, I think the internet could have actually potentially would have broke it. What? Morgan Freeman's talking?
I mean, it's not going to always work out your way. Life just doesn't always work out your way.
Yeah, a little proud of
I can't wait for this to be over with and we find out and we get all the answers. Because when we do, let me ask you a question.
What?
When we get the answers.
What? You want me to apologize to you? Listen,
you're going to go public and apologize?
Let me tell you something,
Are you going to go public and
with
apologize?
your mouth, it'll be a cold day in hell.
Woo! Exactly.
Until you tell me the truth and stop being a narcissistic piece of shit asshole talking to me like that. Hell no. Never.
Look in the fucking mirror. It's not real hard.
Hey, you better point. Listen, when you point a finger like you're doing right now, tell me to look in the mirror. Hey, turn around. You got 3 more pointing at you. I'm not the one being scrutinized by the nation. You are.
I'm not worried about the fucking
you
nation.
Should
That's where
be.
you're wrong.
You should be out there looking for Sebastian.
We have been.
Bullshit.
Why are you saying bullshit?
Because it's bullshit.
Are you holding our hands? Are you walking
Do you
around
need your
town
hands
with
held,
us?
sweetie?
No, I'm asking you. You're saying
asking,
this,
hey,
then where's your evidence? Where is your evidence?
Where's yours? Do you need your hands held?
Oh, I've got evidence.
Where's Sebastian? Do you need your hands held?
Good question. And when you have that answer, let me know, and we can tell the local law enforcement.
Why did you really not attend those vigils? 3 vigils.
It's actually 4, and that's where you're wrong.
Well, I'm talking about the first 3.
Well, see, now you're saying the first 3. So
stop.
If you're
Listen.
Talk, make sure you got
deflection.
It's not deflection.
Yes, it is. It's deflection. Clearly. Why can't you just answer the questions?
The first 2 vigils,
because I said
like
you could.
I told y'all, it's real simple. The first 2 vigils, we were sitting here with law enforcement in the house.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Law enforcement. The next was what?
The third one.
Second.
Actually, I'm explaining to you all 4 vigils.
I'm talking about the first, second, and third.
Okay, the first and second one. Mm-hmm. First one was when day 1, day 2, right here at Stafford and Kellen. Mm-hmm. We still had law enforcement in the house.
Okay.
Second one, we still had law enforcement here at the house.
Okay. What? Okay.
Is he yelling?
If you're not okay, what does that matter? So what?
Because you're asking the fucking question.
But my point is, you have law enforcement at your house. Why would you? That's great. I would want them there where you can go to the vigil, right?
No, we couldn't. We could not go to the vigil.
So they
and then on the third one.
You can't go.
Third one.
You can't go. Y'all cannot go to this vigil.
See, this is the problem.
No, it just makes no sense. But anyways, the second one.
I don't need the fucking peanut gallery. You wanted answers. I told
listen,
you.
Listen, sir, I'm not far from the fucking peanut gallery. Try again.
Then once again,
the second
you
one.
wanted to ask questions. I agreed to answer your questions. I can't answer your questions.
I'll tell you nothing would have stopped me. I would be hollered from the rooftops. Sorry, but anyways, the second.
Okay.
But it's not your son. I need to remind myself of that. I'm sorry.
He's my stepson, and I treat him just like he's my son.
Not really, but keep going.
Well, that's what y'all think.
There's no y'all.
I
mean, how many? I'm only one person. I'm one. I'm me.
Exactly.
Next.
So the third vigil, the one that was supposed to be done outside of our house, that my entire neighborhood was like, no, we're not doing that because we don't have a way. If we get all these people here, what if we need emergency vehicles in and out of here? We can't. I said, well, they said, well, have it moved. Okay, well, we'll reach out. At school, he's known for peeing in his pants. I mean, it's a number of things. He's very awkward, but he's quirky. He's a good kid. But he doesn't have friends.
Did he ever have to sit in urine?
Say again now?
Urine in a pull-up?
At our house, at school? Can I get a little bit more specifics?
I didn't. I was unaware that he even wore pull-ups.
Yes. So here, let me bring you up to speed on that deal. Sebastian has pull-ups that he wears because Sebastian likes to pee in his pants and defecate in his pants. It has become a problem. They've actually had to say something to us. So we even told him, said, look, either you figure out how to go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups. And for the longest time, there had sprouts where he would do what he was supposed to do, and then, he wouldn't.
I have a really quick question. I wonder how Sebastian must feel, or how he's going to feel when he comes back and he sees that Chris Proudfoot, his stepdad, is flirting with Terry Lynn and telling her how he likes to pee and poop in his pants. How disgusting, how vile, how awful. And you actually have people that are sticking up for you.
Do you guys know, I know you guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
The community came together once again to pray for the safe return of Sebastian Rogers. Monday will mark 6 weeks since the 15-year-old went missing from Sumner County.
We are one, Lord God, and we believe and we decree and declare that Sebastian will come home safe and unharmed.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues. Nearly 6 weeks later, community members came together for a prayer vigil Saturday, offering messages of unwavering hope.
You guys are Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well.
Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, thanking all those who have given up their time to help search for his son. Sebastian's grandparents also speaking out, coming all the way from Texas for a second time to help locate their grandbaby.
He loved to talk about plants with me. He loved to talk about animals with me. He loved to go fishing. And he would say, Mima, that's our favorite sport, right?
Sebastian's family also had a strong message for anyone looking to benefit from their search efforts.
You're going to be out here doing what needs to be done to bring our grandson home. We appreciate it. But if you're out there just making money, stay away.
But throughout the investigation, strangers have become allies. Since the beginning of the search, Mary Strom and her son Jaden took a special interest and organized Saturday's prayer vigil.
By the fourth day, I really started to get involved. I went out searching on the fourth and fifth day, and ever since then, I've just been pretty vigilant with helping however I can.
In addition to searching alongside Sebastian's father, the two also continue to provide flyers to the community to help raise awareness.
I have children of my own, and
It's hard to not see their faces when you look at his. And I think it's hard for every mom and dad here.
Saturday, they ended Sebastian's prayer vigil with handwritten messages to Sebastian, ones they plan to share with him upon his return.
We can't let this case get cold. It cannot get cold, and we will find him. And the more vigils and the more news presence and media coverage that we get, the more his face keeps out there, and maybe somebody will see something and they'll say something, and we'll get Sebastian home.
Hey, Clueminati, big old sick cow body. I think your game is shoddy. Feel me? Come with me. Sebastian's army better run quick, see. Are we scared of them? Nah. But we gotta ride tonight for Sebastian, cause that's what's right. See the light. Okay, guys, that was my best attempt at rap. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, one of my favorites, Tupac Shakur there with Hail Mary. That's what the melody was supposed to be, was calling out Clueminati. Let's start out with talking about the collateral damage from Chris and Katie and the gaslighting of the public. So when the vigil was held on April 20th, 2024 for Sebastian, it was held up at the high school, and we talked about it in previous videos. At the vigil, Seth and Chris Proudfoot had a discussion. Chris says it wasn't hostile. I don't believe him, and judging by the photos, it looked hostile to me. Judging by Seth's response and the look on his face, I would say it was not rainbows and unicorns. I think it was more of, tell the public that they need to stop harassing me and Katie. Because that's always the first thing that is brought up is, oh, everybody's so mean. He even did it when he was pretending to be Carl Childers from Sling Blade. He started out with, oh, that's terrible, that boy's missing, but oh boy, what they're doing to the parents, I can't believe it. I mean, just, it's utterly disgusting. And I hope that I could make you see right through what was going on there. That was my whole goal in the situation, was to make you see how they are trying to gaslight the public. And it's not just them. They have a whole crew and a whole army of people who are interested in gaslighting the public and making us feel like we're the ones that don't care about Sebastian and that we're not doing enough and that we have bad intentions, when it's them that has the bad intentions. That is classic gaslighting. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. There's tons of research. There's tons of channels that talk about it on YouTube. There is tons of information out there. So you don't have to take it from me. Now, Tony Mattis did come on, and I don't remember which podcast or news outlet that I saw Tony say this on, but he talks about the whole routine. And obviously, if we're all thinking human beings, we know that a routine, when used in this context, means that they were pretending. It was a routine. So when Tony Mattis talks about this whole routine and the gloves being off, that they're done dealing with Chris's ridiculousness, these phone calls, and thank God for Tony Mattis being able to recognize what Chris was actually doing and what this channel was actually perpetuating in allowing him to do this. It's making fun of someone with special needs, someone with a speech impediment, someone who isn't as smart as the average bear, if you will. And to me, that is absolutely awful, because I'm here to tell you that even when people have special needs, that doesn't mean that they do not have anything to offer this world, and it doesn't mean that they are stupid. Period. End of discussion. And if you don't believe me, again, there are tons of researches out there. There's tons of books out there that you can read so you can become educated on this. So anybody that thinks that this was okay, I'm sorry to tell you, it was not okay. And if I'm following a YouTube channel, I at least want to be able to trust that some of the information or most of the information is being given in a factual way. Not someone who's going to swear to God that they don't know who's on the other end. I mean, it was terrible acting, in my opinion. We all could see right through it. And then they thought they were duping. They talked about duping us all and how we're all stupid. And anybody that is out in a chat somewhere on YouTube is just stupid. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to follow or endorse or network with or be a part of that at all. But then again, birds of a feather do flock together. We have Ted Bundy, who was a serial R word, where he would go around and unalive innocent people and R women. He did it on a massive scale. And then he had a woman that had a child and he was dating her, and he had supporters even after the fact. So, I mean, there are sick people out there. And there's also a boy out of Wisconsin who systematically, with his mother, decided not to feed his little brother except for slices of bread with insanity, hot sauce, extreme regret with the hottest peppers you can think of. And that's all he was given. Cold chicken nuggets that were still frozen, pizza rolls that were still frozen. And ultimately he succumbed to this treatment or this mistreatment. And he has since passed on. And so there are still people, he's got a fiance after the fact that heard his story and decided that that's the man that she wants to spend the rest of her life with. That's the man that she wants to marry. And so there are always going to be sick people out there that will perpetuate and that will egg on and that will like to be a part of the sickness. And it's absolutely, unequivocally revolting, in my opinion. It's also extremely immature behavior. And I will say that the fiance seemed to have spoken about Sebastian. He did try to bring the conversation back to Sebastian. So I will note that, and to be fair. But like I said in the video, this was all a ploy to give her fiance the phone so that way they could show that Chris will talk to a man. And yeah, I've seen him talk to men. He's talked to several, and they're always the yes man. You know, the yeah. You wouldn't believe how many yeah from both of them that I had to take out just to get through all of this and to bring it to you. And they were agreeing with him wholeheartedly, it seemed like. I mean, it didn't seem like they were saying, yeah, sure. I mean, a couple times her fiance did, and he did have a couple of good points there. But ultimately, it was just letting Chris have the platform and them trying to set him up to look good. And to me, when there's a 15-year-old autistic child that has gone missing, I don't care about making anybody look good. I care about putting his face out there and reporting the facts. And when I'm talking about the collateral damage from Chris and Katie and their actions, because don't tell me that she wasn't in on that or she didn't know about it at the very least. Who knows? She was probably sitting there laughing at him. But I don't know that for sure. Tony Mattis went on and he talks about humanizing Sebastian again. And it absolutely enraged me, and it really upset me to know that he has to go on there and try and rehumanize Sebastian. And the reason why is because of this phone call and because of what was going on and how many people were totally okay with participating in all of this mess. Again, how do you think it's going to make Sebastian feel to know that people were making fun of about a special needs person? I mean, just think about that for a minute. Let it set in and think about it and think about how that would make him feel. But no, they're too worried about how the Proudfoots feel. Just like law enforcement was too worried about how they were feeling and not enough about how Sebastian's feeling. They talk about the villain to fill in the narrative, and Clueminati said it first, and then Chris, when he decided to actually, pull up his big boy pants and come to the conversation like a man. Yeah, well, if that's what you want to call it, but I mean, I see right through him. He's just a little boy. Anyway, when he decided to start using his own voice, he started talking about how we all need a villain to fill in the narrative. Actually, no, we don't need a villain. All of us can see right through you. And when you talk and you do these things and you say the most threatening, the most rude, the most vile of things to women and children, you're the one that's making yourself the villain. We don't even have to paint a picture. It's really very easy for us all. That's the easiest thing about this case. Showing your ass. So I would really urge everybody to be careful who they're following, be careful who you're letting into your ear, and be careful who you are going to allow to dictate your life, your money, and your own personal views, moral values, etc. Because these people aren't the people. These people, after threatening Seth at the vigil, went off to go look at Harley Davidsons or motorcycles. Maybe they got a Honda. Either way, they're not going to show up to the vigils. They didn't show up to the vigils. And there's a bike ride that I showed earlier. Let's see if they have the guts to show up over there. But I doubt it. They won't, because that's the good people that they don't want anything to do with. Chris would rather push the narrative of the cup running over and being overfilled with hatred. Well, that's on you, Chris. You did that to yourself. And the sooner that you realize that and you come to the grips with that, the sooner that you will understand and you won't be so confused anymore. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired and I'm done with the gaslighting and the fakes out there telling me that I don't care about Sebastian and we need to keep it about Sebastian because it's old, it's tired, and honestly, the only people that want to push that narrative is them because they're the ones that aren't doing the right thing. In my opinion, everybody else is doing the right thing. Seth looking, he's got teams out there. He's trying to build out a good team. He's got supporters. People that aren't a part of his team are still trying to find Sebastian. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's wasted time, honestly, and energy to continue perpetuating this nonsense. I'm certainly not going to spend any time and energy trying to defend myself or my actions, especially not to the likes of Chris Proudfoot or his flying monkeys. And I don't want to be collateral damage for the Proudfoots anymore. And I won't be. And what in the world is up with Chris's obsession with talking about Riley Strain? This is not the first time that he's talked about Riley Strain, and he just goes on and on about him. And then he creepily uses his mother's own statement, hold your babies tight. He sits there and says that all she wants is for him to come home and hold the baby tight. Well, that's freaking ridiculous. And honestly, how dare you? Riley was out with friends. He was a grown man at 22 years old, out with friends down in Nashville, partying in the city. That is vastly and completely different than Sebastian being home with his mother, supposedly safe in his bed, and now there is no sign, no trace, no scent, no nothing, no clues of him. It is completely different. We were able to watch, as I said in previous videos, I'm sorry to beat a dead horse, everybody, but watching Riley go from place to place. And unfortunately, what happened. And there's still many answers that his folks don't have. So for him to sit there and talk about what happened with Riley and saying it was the exact same thing and trying to make us believe what he's saying, I mean, it's just beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy. But if we don't believe him and get on board with what he says, we'll have people coming after us and people saying, oh, you shouldn't say that about the Proudfoots. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. You want to be friends with them? That's fine. I don't get down with that, and I'm not down with you. Some connections that were in the movie Sling Blade that could have something to do with the reason why Sebastian was said to have been made to sleep in the garage. Does he think that he got a bright idea from the movie Sling Blade, making Carl sleep in their garage instead of inviting the poor guy into their house? Is that something that he thought was cute, so he decided to go ahead and have Sebastian sleep out in the garage? I mean, it's just a thought. Some other connections were that the abusive boyfriend of the mother, who was an alcoholic, who liked to use derogatory terms in explaining people with special needs and disabilities, and he liked to be hateful to women and children. Let's see. That's another connection that I see in there. Does that have something to do with maybe the reason why Chris referenced this movie or the reason why he likes it so much? Just a thought. But we're supposed to feel bad for Katie. We're supposed to feel bad that Katie's scared. Well, Katie might be scared. People do crazy things. She was in the military. She was an MMA fighter in the military, apparently. And maybe all of her confidence has been stolen from Chris Proudfoot. That happens when you are in an abusive relationship, when you're dealing with domestic violence. You lose who you are. And that's why even in the description for my channel, I talk about what the narcissist, what the abuser does and how they snuff out your essence. And I believe that my personal experiences, as we all bring in our personal experiences to our opinions, makes me a better judge of what's going on because I can see right through it. But you know, Katie has family that is nearby that she could stay with. She could stay in the area still. I have been ridiculed in my life. I think we all have. It's about standing up against it. It's about taking a stand and not allowing it. It's about standing up for yourself. And if Katie has lost some of her spark, some of who she is, some of who she was, she can get it back. I have. And so for Katie, I would just say, step up. You used to be a strong girl, and I knew it. I knew you were smart, and I knew that you're stronger than this. So stand up. Do the right thing. Tell the truth, Katie. I know you can do it. You were taught in the military to do right. I know about Great Lakes Naval Base. I'm a Chicago girl myself. I know what they teach up there. My family's Navy. So I know that this nonsense that you're pulling is not conducive with what you were taught. And if you're scared of Chris, I understand that. but you can stand up against him. There's tons of resources out there, and there's tons of people that will help, and there's tons of people now that know your story. So you're in good company if you'd want to step away from all of that, them making fun of your son with disabilities. You want to step away from all of the noise of Chris Proudfoot telling you you're not good enough and that you need to choose between him or your kid. I'm going to tell you right now, I've dropped people like a bad habit. They said anything about my daughter. I know what it's like to be a divorcee. I know what it's like to be out in the world and a single mom by yourself. I get it. But you have to keep it about your kid, and you have to keep a connection with your kid because he's your only child. He's your only child, Katie, just like I have only one child. So I know how you feel. But that doesn't excuse you allowing this behavior and allowing people to speculate instead of telling them the truth and then turning around and trying to blame them for it. It's not working for you. I think Chris was jealous of Sebastian. I think he thought that he wasn't as good as Sebastian, and so he had to sit there and try to make you choose between them because he knows how unique and how precious and how awesome Sebastian is. He knows he's not any of those things. A narcissist knows that. They have more pain and fear and doubt, self-doubt in them than anybody out there, and that's why they project such insidious crap to everyone they encounter. In the bowling video, at the end of it, when Sebastian kind of points at the camera, he's telling his mom that she just got wrecked. So his direct quote was, "You just got wrecked, Mom." And to me, knowing that that's the language that he would use and the mannerisms that he had tells me that Sebastian was a highly intelligent young man who was also very clever and witty. And I'm sure that Chris was jealous of that too, because he's not funny at all. You know, Sebastian's funny. When I saw the green tea video, I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. Now, Chris, I didn't laugh one time. And I like to think that I have a pretty good sense of humor. I mean, I think we all think we are funny, or we all have a sense of humor that's, you know, fantastic, especially judging from the video we just watched. But to be honest with you, Chris wasn't funny. Clueminati and her fiance weren't funny. Nothing was funny about it. I mean, they were making fun of it, and it really is just disheartening. I could see Sebastian telling his mom that she just got wrecked and being proud of himself for having a great day bowling and them having a great old time with it and thinking it was wonderful. The one that probably ruins all the joy and all of the happiness and all of the playfulness is Chris Proudfoot, because, you know, he'll give him that. He'll give him that. Oh, he says something witty every now and then. I'll give him that. Well, I ain't going to give that to you because it's just flat out not true. And what's with all this lately? He says, oh, here lately. Well, here lately, your stepson's been missing almost 80 days. All right, enough of that. Let's get into some current events. What's going on with the Sebastian Rogers case to date? This one came from Justice Warrior Investigations, which is Heather the PI's team. It says, when I came into the Sebastian Rogers case, one of the first things I did was get to work trying to get CUE Center involved. Seth registered his son with CUE, and I put them in contact with the jurisdictional agency right away. Anyone who knows anything about CUE knows that they have such a high level of respect for law enforcement that they will not do anything without the blessing of law enforcement. And anyone who knows CUE knows that they are also very respected by law enforcement. They have massive resources and have helped to find thousands of missing persons around the county. So tell me, why hasn't Sumner County Sheriff's Department given their blessing to them? Make it make sense. Hashtag Sebastian Strong. Another post reads from a Facebook group administered by Nicole Evans. In light of the recent posts about CP Chris Proudfoot being besties with two investigators on the case, I think it's time we all turn up the heat. Beginning on Monday morning, I propose every single one of us in this group, for the cause of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, we turn up the heat. How? It's time to flood the district attorney's office and mayor of Hendersonville's office with phone calls. Call and state your concerns on the integrity of the investigation being at stake and wanting this case solved. It is time, people. See phone numbers below. And the District Attorney General's office, Gallatin Criminal Office, the DA is Ray Whitley. And you can find his phone number. I don't know if we're supposed to post it. To quote Katie Proudfoot, Google it, y'all. Another one from the same group reads, "It's Monday. Let's get those calls of concern for lack of efforts and compromised integrity of the Sebastian Rogers case. We will not rest. Let's go. Do it for Sebastian. And drop a comment here after you make calls. Let us know if you got to speak to someone or left a message. Mayor's office and DA's office." I'm going to go ahead and make my phone calls on Friday, and I'll let you know what I find, guys. Now, this one is going to be from Chloe DXM. She is the old PI. She has also parted ways with Seth, although she is still looking. So this is what she says. "Good morning. As you may know, I have been the private investigator on Sebastian Rogers' case. I've been involved since early March and have worked consistently and tirelessly with many incredible people in this community. I need to announce that I have been asked to step down. This decision was made after hard conversations and in congruence with boundaries I've personally held in regard to the direction I believe my investigation should go. Seth and I have chosen different paths, but our goal stays the same. These cases are difficult, and discussions on who to involve in an investigation are not always agreed upon. As most of you know, I am highly protective of the victims, and everyone involved wants nothing more than to find Sebastian. Seth is aware, and I will never stop searching for Sebastian, and he does not want me to. I will continue as I have for 2 months. Just now, it will be independently. I am open to questions, although I'm sure there are some I will be unable to answer. Please do not allow this statement to further distract you from the goal in all of this. Continue to share Sebastian's face. Continue advocating for him. He is who matters. Hashtag Sebastian's Army." And then this message from Chloe came a little bit afterwards. This one reads, "I will briefly address some things that need clarifying in regards to being asked to step down on Sebastian's case. 1. In my private and group conversations, I was presented one reason for being asked to step down. I was unwilling to work with individuals possibly being brought in, as I felt it could hinder my license and the integrity of the case. Number 2. No, it is not because anyone is trying to protect me from Chris Proudfoot. Apparently, this was such a large rumor that law enforcement called me at 9 p.m. last night to confirm it was not caused by the content of the leaked call. I thought it may have been guys too, just my opinion. Number 3, my departure has been amicable thus far. I cannot control what the public does with that announcement. Number 4, as an investigator, I vet leads, and if I deem them credible, I pass them to my client. Number 5, I will continue to search for Sebastian independently with a group pro bono, as I have since the moment I started. I have nothing further to add. I would really love for the focus to shift back to Sebastian. That has been such a tug of war issue the entire case. Thank you. And thank you, Chloe PI. Okay, now guys, I would like to read a couple of messages from Robin Rogers. That is Mima, Sebastian's Mima, and Seth's mother. She says, "There was a lot more than one time, and there were a lot more abuses. Sebastian told me that he swore me to secrecy." Now, if any of you have been through the kinds of trauma that Sebastian has been through, like the physical, emotional, mental abuse, and the sexual abuse, then you know that it is very embarrassing, and it is a very delicate subject, and a lot of times people do tell a trusted person, friend, cousin, and they swear them to secrecy. And it is up to that individual whether they are going to be a loyal person and respect the other person, or if they're going to tell. And honestly, I do not blame either one, because if somebody tells me something, it has to be pretty bad for me to break that trust. And that's my opinion. I also am glad that at the very least, Sebastian had a confidant that he could go to and that he could feel safe with, that he can trust, and that he could speak to. Another post from Mima reads, "You can stop all your speculating. I did not tell my son because my grandson asked me not to. I was the only person that Sebastian felt like he could say anything to. If I had broke his confidence, he would never have been able to speak to me again about anything and everything. He was protecting his dad. He did not want his dad to do anything that would harm himself or his career. Do I regret not telling him? You bet I do. But had I told him, Sebastian would have never trusted me again. So stop your speculation. I beat myself up enough. You don't need to beat me up too." And here's another one when she had a reaction to what she watched on the live with Clueminati, and she calls her Clueminante, which I thought was kind of cute. So anyway, shame on you, Chris Proudfoot, and shame on Clueminante, who's reportedly speaks with him daily. How dare you make a mockery of my grandson's disappearance? But we all know how you really feel about Sebastian and how you treated him. CPS records do not lie. And Katie, you know exactly what happened to Sebastian. Your smart mouth husband said so early on in the investigation. The longer this goes on, the worse the outcome for you. We will find him. Maybe I should have just stuck to what Mima had to say and I didn't have to sit there and rant on with you guys for 20 minutes. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. She said it best. That's why everybody thinks this about you guys, is because of what you're doing, because of how you're acting. You, not anybody else, you. Good grief. And I told Chris Proudfoot a long time ago to knock it off, and he still hasn't knocked it off. Okay, guys, and here's another little tidbit that I saw somewhere, probably on JLR. And it reads, "I was told by a close neighbor that morning she saw Katie outside with police when she went to take her kids to school. She stopped and asked what happened. Katie told her she told Sebastian to go to bed around 9. She fell asleep on the couch, never mentioning the conversation between her and Chris, woke up around 11:30, went in to check on Sebastian, which she previously said she didn't do any more now than he's older," which she said on the Smiley Show, just throwing that in there, guys. "He must have been awake because his light or a light was on, according to this neighbor's Ring camera. She said she told Sebastian to go to bed. He had to get up the next morning. She walks across her house to go to her bedroom to go to bed. As she's walking through the kitchen, she hears a loud noise. She yells back at Sebastian, asking him what was that. He says, 'Nothing, Mom. Go to bed.' So she does, according to the neighbor close to them. Their Ring camera shows the lights going on and off because it's so dark. This neighbor also mentioned seeing a silhouette in front of the front room, possibly dining room, window for a couple of minutes, then all the lights go off. Neither Chris nor Katie have ever mentioned any of this." So here is another alleged lie. I don't know if this is true. I don't know what the neighbors' cameras or anything really look like, so I'm not going to be able to say much on that. But whenever it comes to Katie being caught in lies, this is not her first lie. She gets caught in tons of lies. And I'm sorry, my pug is snoring in the background. Oh, yes. And one more thing I wanted to bring up too before we close this out and I get this posted. I actually was supposed to get this up. So today it's actually May 16th, 2024. Sebastian's been missing now for 81 days today. So the beginning of my video, I recorded the audio. I don't want to have to go back. Another thing I realized while I was doing the research here is that I did use a photo from Clueminati, and it's the one that's of Katie and Chris and Sebastian, and they're on the fishing trip, they're on the boat. So she watermarked that, and I remember thinking to myself whenever I used it the first time, or the first couple times, I think I've used it a couple times, but I was like, who would watermark a missing child's photo? Like, I don't understand what's wrong with people, and I don't know where this entitlement comes from that you think you can just watermark some kid's photo that is missing, honestly, legitimate, or his family. I don't know if maybe because they're friends, maybe his mom, maybe she was told to do that, or she got permission. In my opinion, I thought it was tacky. The name and the game and the aim of YouTube channels who feature missing children or missing people or stories or true crime stories is to spread awareness, to share, to have community conversations, and to be a place that people can feel comfortable sharing in trauma. So for you to watermark a child's photo, that's honestly insane. But it's your prerogative, it's your channel, whatever you'd like to do. I'm just pointing out the obvious. I do that. That's all I do. I'm just a regular person here, pointing out the obvious, doing research, presenting facts. I'm just really glad that I wasn't the only one that saw through what was going on here. And then also, I wanted to talk about really quick the fact that Seth did get the CPS records, so he does have those. Apparently, Sumner County has had them from day one, but the TBI did not. Seth received the redacted version of these records, and then he also asked the TBI to go ahead and grab the unredacted records, which I would have thought they already had. I was honestly surprised and shocked that they didn't have that information. I mean, I figured the police did, but there we go, assuming. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't have much information, and the information that we have to go on is going to be the only thing that can bring us to a conclusion or an inference, which is an educated guess. All I can say is one parent to another who has had to read similar documentation of utterly disgusting incidents that happened at the other parent's house. My heart goes out to you, Seth. And again, I give you the Katniss Everdeen Godspeed to you, sir. Been there, done that. It was a nightmare come true. And anyone who doesn't like that, you could just read between the lines on that one. Sit on it and spin, for all I care. In my last video, I did a compassion video. This one's more of a diary of a mad Mexican woman. Thank you all so much for listening to me today. I really appreciate it. Please join me for part 3. We're going to go back into WebSleuths live and finish up that conversation where Gray Hughes comes into the mix, and so does Seth Rogers. So we'll finish that up. I'll, of course, sprinkle in a little bit more updates and tidbits that I find along the way. Guard your minds out there. Guard your hearts. Say a prayer for Sebastian. And if you're in Tennessee and you ride, I'm too much of a scaredy cat and I don't live in the area, but definitely go out there and take a ride for Sebastian. I will talk to you all very soon. Lady Justice is blind, but we are not. Lady Justice listens carefully, and so should we. Thank you all again. Stay safe out there. Make a phone call for Sebastian, and let the truth shine out of the darkness.